Hello, my name is Jalen Wills, and today I will be showing you my speech about the late and great Jimi Hendrix. This is my decade speech on the 60s, where Jimi Hendrix mostly put his place in music until his time to death in 1970. Jimi Hendrix was an American guitarist, songwriter, and singer, uh, and he goes down as one of the greatest black musicians of all time, and possibly the greatest guitarist of all time. James Marshall Hendrix was born on November 27th, 1942, in Seattle, Washington. His mother, Lucille, was only 17 years old at the time of his birth, and his father, Al, would leave the family after the birth of their last two sons, Leon and Joseph. After the split, Jimmy would only get to see his mother sporadically until her death in 1958. At the age of 16, his father Al bought him a guitar, which was an acoustic, and Jimi Hendrix would later on teach himself how to play the guitar. The next year after he got the acoustic, his father gave him a guitar, the Supro Ozark, which was an electric guitar. It was right-handed, and since Jimmy was left-handed, Jimmy would have to flip the guitar on the other side to play the guitar himself. In 1961, following his father, he would join the Army and become a paratrooper. Also, he would bring his musical talents with him to the Army, also forming a band called the King Casuals. In 1962, a year after he joined the Army, Jimi Hendrix would be involved in an injury during a parachuting incident in Vietnam. This would lead him to become honorably discharged, also known as maybe kicked out, as you could say, from the Army permanently. Also, some sources say that he was kicked out due to homosexual tendencies, but those are just rumors. After his 13 months in the Army, Jimmy will work under the name Jimmy James as a backup guitarist for artists such as the Isley Brothers, Ike and Tina, Sam Cooke, B.B. King, and Little Richard. In 1964, he will move to New York City and form a band called Jimmy James and the Blue Flames, and they will mostly perform at coffee houses around New York City. During one performance at the coffee house in New York City, bassist Brian Chandler of the British group The Animals would seek out Jimi Hendrix at one of his performances and would later on arrange himself to become Jimmy's manager and have him relocate to London, United Kingdom. After Chandler would become Jimmy's manager, Jimmy would move to London, England, and form the band known as the Jimi Hendrix Experience, along with bassist Noel Redding and drummer Mitch Mitchell. The band's first single, which was "Hey Joe," "Hey Joe" reached number 6 on the top of the British pop charts and would quickly become a quick success for the band. Jimi Hendrix would be known as a rock superstar after one performance of him burning a guitar on stage during the Monterey Pop Festival. The Jimi Hendrix Experience will release 3 albums, including Are You Experienced in 1967, Bold as Love in 1969, and Electric Ladyland in 1969. However, later that year they would disperse due to creative differences. Perhaps the most legendary performance of his career happened during the Woodstock Festival in 1969, where he performed his electric guitar rendition of the Star Spangled Banner, which is still to this day, one of the most iconic performances of the Star Spangled Banner ever, which is the national anthem of the United States. Later, after this iconic performance, Jimi established his once again established his own band known as the Band of Gypsies. But however, they will only release one album, which was self-titled in 1969. 1970, Hendrix established his own recording studio in New York City named Electric Lady. This recording studio will come with a 46-track recording technology, and the studio will be opened in August of 1970, which was a month before his untimely death. On September 18th, 1970, Jimi Hendrix would succumb to choking on his own vomit from drinking red wine. Also, some sources say that he died from alcohol poisoning, and there are some sources who say the government poisoned his drink, like some type of government poisoned his drinks, which is just a conspiracy theory, the Illuminati stuff. But on the Rolling Stones list of 100 greatest musical artists of all time, Jimi Hendrix is ranked at number 6, which is more than enough to show that he has established his mark in music history and made a big influence in just 4 years of his career. His career only lasted 4 years. And that is it from my speech. I hope you all enjoyed it so far. If you need to look up any information, these are the sources that I use right here. Also, I want everybody to stay safe in their homes. Make sure you use alcohol at all times during this pandemic, and y'all have a blessed day.